All right. It is Tuesday night. Or I'm sorry, Monday night.
Monday night.
February 24th. So we're glad that you guys are here. Dee and Larry Corchin. So we're here for our weekly team time, always starting with our inspiration. And I just thought that one resonated with me today. I think especially with some of what we're going to be talking about tonight with our clients and really looking to make a difference, that sometimes it can feel like, are we making a difference, right? Like if somebody's not really engaging or engaging in all that we have to offer. But I think, I don't know how many are on this call so far, but 40 something of us, right? Like it's all made a difference. So everybody you're helping, it does make a difference. And we appreciate that. So got some fun things on the agenda today, including an announcement at the end that's going to kind of tie everything together. Yeah. And we'll start tonight with our up close and personal, like we always do. And one thing that I'm really proud of, we like to do this segment so that you can meet different people on our team. And the one thing I am really proud of with our team is longevity. That we have coaches that come in that stay with us, that build great businesses and stay engaged. And that's what we're all here for, right? We want to be able to build nice, strong businesses. And I've had the pleasure with partnering with Vicki Feldman for many years. I'm going to let her share the details of that. But Vicki was one of the first coaches that joined our team that really started building a nice business. And so I just wanted her to take a few minutes tonight to share her story and what's been working well and things that you have worked through, Vicki.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody. I think that's Dee's nice way of saying that I'm old because we've been connected for a very long time. So when I first started coaching, I, at the time, was a fitness instructor. I was in a small studio with the owner who had gone on program and was wanting to coach, deliver it to the clients who were that were coming in for the workouts. So it took me about 3 months to make a decision to do it. And I just said I wasn't going to do something. I wasn't going to coach something I hadn't done. So I went on program with my husband and dropped about 17 pounds in about 6 weeks. And he dropped probably close to 23, 24 pounds and really, really changed our perspective actually on quite a few things. But at the time I was probably teaching a fitness class every single day. I was about to turn 50 years old and I felt like I was turning into my mother. And I had just said to him, this is as good as it's going to get. And, I am only getting older, so that's it. And fast forward, I guess now probably 6, 7 years. I'm not even sure how long. All I know is we started the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday because he wanted to have his beer on Super Bowl Sunday. And that's when I launched. And I got my first client was another instructor. And from there, people just really watched my change and what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And before I knew it, I had clients, which was great. So I remember going to my first convention. I remember her saying, it's in Nashville. It's right around the corner. I drove up with some people. We shared a room. And it was my first convention. Highly recommend anybody who hasn't gone to convention. It's obviously coming right around the corner. But that really kind of sealed the deal for me. I just wasn't really sure what this was going to look like. So I'm still in fitness. I have a background. I have a master's in social work. So I've always historically just been very mind, body conscious of how it all connects, what we think, what we do, behaviors, environment, etc. After being on the program, I really understood that you can't outrun a bad diet. And even though it's funny because for me, I felt like it wasn't that my diet was terrible. I was just having too much of things. So my portion control was really not where it needed to be. So I now know what an appropriate apple size is. I didn't know that before. So for me, I think, Dee said when we talked earlier, it's like, what's going well? What have I struggled with? So in the past 7 years, I've lost both my parents. I lost my mom very suddenly, who went to sleep and didn't wake up one day, and my world was shattered. I still not quite sure that I have really come out of that black hole. So, but, I think about the choices that she made and the choices that she didn't make. And I'm a firm believer that, we have our genetics and we can't change what we're gifted from our families of origin with the genetics, but we can surely choose the behaviors that we choose to make a change or a difference in our own lives and hopefully inspire other people. So that's kind of what I strive to do. I recently lost my dad, and those have probably been my two biggest barriers. I was the caretaker for my dad. He was on hospice. I had 24-hour caregiving after like 3 hip fractures and in and out of hospitals and in and out of rehabs. And when you talk about like your time being kind of like, where do you put it? And my business definitely suffered. So I'm still trying to, that's probably why for a lot of you, you don't even know me or haven't really been on a lot of these calls. So I'm crawling my way back out of that hole, trying to do the best that I can. So as always, I appreciate the support. I would say that probably, D really being there to, hey, have you looked at your numbers? Hey, you're about $600 away. Like always getting those reminders. Cause honestly, I wasn't looking in my back office. I was just like hanging on by threads. So I think like the support of the coaching team, knowing that everybody's trying to do their best, everybody's trying to build their business, everybody's trying to, that we all have ups and downs. It's just like our clients, right? They go AWOL and you try to pull them back. But at the end of the day, people have to want what they have to want. I think like coaching very much mirrors what our clients go through. For me, I think the other biggest part that I've been challenged with is building teams. So it's where I'm going to delegate my time. So that's something that I'm constantly working on. I did have a comment. So I had a client re-engage with me and, obviously she got the new books and she's like, no, I'm looking, I'm 5 pounds down. I said, so have you opened up the book yet? She goes, oh, no, I don't need that. So I said to her, would you drive a car with 3 wheels? I said, we realize that's part of the program. So I said to her, pick up the book and read chapter 1 and then come back and tell me if you don't read the book. So, I have become much more brazen in my throwing it back to clients because sometimes I think that they need those challenges. Just like sometimes I need those challenges. So that's about it. I don't know if I left anything out, G, that you wanted me to say, but.
Oh, Vicki, that was perfect. I mean, thanks for being transparent. First of all, everybody, Vicki lives just over there. Okay, so we're in the same neighborhood. She's a couple blocks over, but no, thanks for being transparent. And it's your story. I mean, we all have stories of challenges, and that's what's I think great about our business is that we can help one another in our businesses and just kind of support each other. And the fact that you've been in business a long time and you do have a steady business, and that's fantastic. And that's one of the things that again, when you look at your business, folks, you try to when we talk about your goals, identifying your goals and what you want is a big part of what we do as far as business coaches and how we coach and show up for our coaches as well. So Vicki, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. It really shows that, you do have a lot of skills in the business and have built a good, stable business. So when you were going to hit up against life sometimes, and you got hit up like hard with some life, but we're able to sustain it, keep it going. It maybe not looked exactly what you wanted it to, but the cool thing about here, Optavia, is we're always here, right? And you can re-engage and whatever. So glad you're plugged back in.
And it was so cool. We were sharing contractor information at a traffic light yesterday. So it was kind of cool. So.
Good stuff. Well, we are going to move on. We've been talking for the past few weeks about being integrated, helping our clients be integrated, and improving our communication with our clients, really looking to establish and have that weekly phone call with them. Meg Johnson did a great call on that. And we also talked last week about the importance of utilizing like the best practices for our Eat, Live, and Be Optavia, the client support group. And wow, like kudos to you guys. I mean, I already saw an uptick in activity and responses and your own personal participation. So if that has felt good to you, or if you've liked the way it looks, we'd love to see some of that in the chat. But before we go to the next thing, we've got the weekly conversations that we have with our clients, or things that we might notice about our clients. And as we were coming up on month end, Larry, you noticed something we just wanted to bring up real quick.
Yeah, I want to share that, but I also want to say one thing, and it goes back to what Vicki said about the book. I have a client right now. He is unbelievable. He is like model client, and it's model client from the perspective. I love getting on the phone with him. he is like on page 250 in the Habits of Health book, and he's doing his life book. And I have to be ready and prepared. And it's awesome because he makes me a better coach because I know he's reading. I mean, he's amazing from that standpoint. And of course, I keep dripping that he should become a coach because he's reading everything in the life book and Habits of Health. So, but anyway, I wanted to share that because it just makes us a better coach, and it makes them better clients, as we know, long term. No, at this time of the month, and what I do is I take several pictures, snapshots during the month, as far as how we're doing and what the numbers look like. I'm a numbers guy, right? And I think the numbers can say a lot to us as far as what's working, what's not working. One of the things that I see, and I'm sure several of you have seen it, but what I see is, I'm sorry, the dog just knocked over a bunch of stuff over here, so we apologize for that. But no, what I've seen is, and this is pretty consistent, is that all of a sudden orders start getting pushed, right? And so we'll see the Premier report and it starts to drop. So if you look at the beginning of the month and you say, wow, that looks good, my number looks good for this month, but then all of a sudden Premier orders start to get pushed, that is an indication, right? And I look at it, now there's a certain amount that will drop, right? People are meeting their goals and orders are being cut down as a result. But what we should be taking a look at is, are they dropping off, and have I reached out to talk to them? Okay, that's a clear indication that I should reach out and have a conversation and say, hey, how's everything going on plan? I notice you pushed your Premier order. That's telling me that possibly you may be off track. Can I help? And that's important to do, because if we let that go, what happens is we have less likelihood of that client having success if we let it go too long, right? If we jump on it right away, that client may only be off maybe a week or something like that. But if we let it go and they're off 2 and 3 weeks, it's going to be that much harder to bring a client back on plan. So I analyzed that this month, and I was looking at the Premier report, and I just wanted to share that thought as far as what's going on. And it's important to reach out to clients on that when you see it.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to reawaken, help them re-aim at their why, right? Like what it was, their intrinsic motivation for why did they start it. So AIM is awaken their intrinsic motivation. So help to refocus on that. So that was really good. So we talked about it a little bit. Vicki brought up about the life book. I mean, the one thing that really sets us apart as an organization and what we're offering is a comprehensive health plan. And the transformational system that Dr. A has given us, the Habits of Health book, the life book, and then some of the tools we're going to talk about tonight to support that, that really is the meat of our program. So really our responsibility, what we want to be doing is growing and developing as coaches, because this is new for all of us, but be developing so that this becomes a normal part of our vernacular and a normal expectation of our clients, right? And so much of what our clients do completely reflects what our mindset is, our expectation of them, and what we're doing ourselves. So there's a couple of things that the company offers that are extremely valuable tools that are doing everything to point in that direction for you and give you your talking points for the week. So when you talk to your client for their weekly calls. So on Mondays, the company makes available, there is a newsletter, an e-newsletter that's available in Optavia Connect. We're not going to go through the logistics because there is separate training on that, but a newsletter that's available for our clients in the back office. And you can just download your client base. You can send it to your clients. You can send it to candidates. I send it to everybody. So all of our past clients receive it. But what that does is that gives them a healthy tip. It's going to give them what element we're working on in the life book. It's going to point them to the weekly Habits of Health call. Yep. And then also a healthy recipe. So already you actually really have your title for what you could be talking to your clients about that week. What habit of health you could be talking about based on, that comes out on Monday. You could be looking at it for that. So Susan Giesland, you were going to pop on here for a minute because I know that you actively use that newsletter, and just share with us a little bit about what you find valuable. If you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share. I love the newsletter. If you haven't started using it, take the time to learn how to do it, because it is a very well done professional newsletter, and it's a great tool that we have available to us. And I think if you're not using it, then you're missing out on using that tool. But one of the things I like about it is not only does it reach our clients, our inactive clients, our active clients, candidates, past clients, people that you've had health assessments with that are at the not yet part, which is a great thing. So if you do a health assessment, I always ask, would you like to receive my weekly newsletter? And people usually say yes. But one of the things that I love about it is it has the ability to go into that newsletter after you sent it and see who's clicked on it. And so that's a great touch point too of, if you have a candidate and you've seen that they are clicking on your newsletter, you can reach out and say, hey, I see that you've been enjoying my newsletter. What's your favorite part? It's just another touch point. And the other thing I like about it too is like Dee said, it does give you something to talk about with your clients. So you don't feel like you're always talking about the same thing, every week. Where are you at in the element? Blah, blah, blah. It gives you a little fresh topic to talk to them about. What'd you like about the newsletter? Or did you see that recipe? And that way, they've received it, they've looked at it as well. But I use that every week, and I think it's a really, really great tool. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I highly recommend, as another touch point, reaching out to your client. Plus, the best thing about it is it's a marketing thing. So it keeps you in the forefront of the mind of people, of your clients, your past clients, your candidates, anybody out there that may know somebody that is looking to get healthy. They'll think of you because they're getting that newsletter every week from you. So highly recommend using it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Susan. Perfect. I set it up on Mondays to go out Tuesdays at noon. I talk to my clients usually on Wednesdays. So one thing to think about is possibly doing your client calls like on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday before the Habits of Health call, because that was the next thing I was going to say that the company does for us is provides this amazing Wednesday night Habits of Health call. And that is, of course, going to parallel the topic that's already reflected in the newsletter. So again, you've got your talking topic for your clients. So for example, last week was on building a healthy mindset on element 4. So that was an easy conversation because I could say and really quote what Dr. A says, where he talks about if we enter this and we only change our eating by following the eating plan without changing our thoughts around food and our mindset, it's not going to last very long, right? So I always talk to my clients about how, do you want this to last? So I give them a specific reason why they would want to go and watch that weekly webinar. I do post about that weekly call in our Eat, Live, and Be Optavia group on Wednesdays. But if you want to find the topic earlier, again, you can find it on Monday when they post the newsletter, or if you, the Optavia Facebook page, if you just go to the Optavia official Facebook page, they post it there on Mondays as well, what that weekly topic is. So that is already teeing you up for utilization and talking to your clients about the Habits of Health system and the life book. So it's going to lead you to that. So a lot of my clients, if they're having trouble picking up the book, definitely want them on those webinars. And then we've got the awesome coaching guide, which just gives you the simple questions to ask them. How did this apply to you this week? What did you learn? How did this element, what did you learn from it?
Yeah, I was just going to add, Susan, thanks for bringing it up too. It's an awesome marketing tool. So if you're meeting somebody just in passing and they say, oh, what do you do? I'm a health coach and everything, getting their information and say, hey, would you mind? I'd love to share my newsletter with you. It's got great healthy tips in there. And then they can start to understand what you're about, and what we offer from that standpoint. So it's a great short, quick connect with somebody for those people that are busy or maybe a little impatient. I got to go. Hey, can I put you on the newsletter? Yeah, sure. No, go right ahead. And they have something coming into their mailbox. Now, again, sometimes they may never read it, but what I always say is they see your name coming into their email box. And so they know what you're about and they know you're there. So when they have the need or they know somebody that has a need, they're going to say, Susan, health coach, let me touch base with her from that standpoint. So thanks for bringing that up, Susan. One last thing on that, on the life book and the habits of health. I heard it said just recently, that the book is like, I know many of us are, we have our faith and everything, but it's kind of like our faith. I mean, you know, I'm Christian, so the Bible is important to me. And if I don't dive into the Bible, I really don't understand my faith enough. So I heard it explained that way, right? From a health standpoint, how can we really get good at our health unless we dive in to really understand our bodies, understand our habits? So again, I share that with you because I thought it was like a light bulb that, you know, the parallels to the Bible. But again, I share that, and hopefully that helps you tonight too.
Yeah, that's so important. And it really, the transformational system is the pulse. It is the heartbeat of Optavia. And hopefully you're getting on Dr. A's calls right after this one. But I would say no less than 2 out of 4 calls a month. It's 100% about the transformational system and utilization of the life book. So definitely the direction that we're going. And we recognize, just like with the starfish example and the thing, is that not everybody might engage immediately, but we will have some that will. And that the more it becomes of the pulse of who we are and the heartbeat of who we are, the more that will radiate out. Wanted Cassie Moore to come on real quick. Cassie has had a real mindset shift herself around how she wants to coach her clients and how she introduces the transformational system. So Cassie, if you could just come off for a minute or two, I'd love to hear from you. Great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, first of all, Dee, but I wanted to say I really don't feel like I do anything special other than direct them back to the tools that we have. I've started telling a lot of my clients that when I started program, I did not have the life book. And so it really is, I make it sound like more of a treasure to me, because when I first started coaching, I will be honest, several months in, we were doing a Blanchard training, Paul and Dave Blanchard training, and it hit me like a ton of bricks that I was coaching a diet, and that was not I don't believe that was Optavia's heart, and it wasn't my heart once I came to that realization that I had been coaching a diet, but I wanted to change that. And the reason I wanted to change it was because I wanted more for myself, but I certainly wanted more for my clients, and that was the long-lasting transformation. So having this tool has been really a big part of, especially my newer clients. I do talk to my more established clients about it as well and try to get them to order the transformational system. But I can tell you, I see a huge difference in the clients that I started, a little over a year ago, and the clients that I start now, and the way that they even just give off a sense of being hungrier to even be acceptable or accepting to the book. But that was one of the things that really shifted in my mindset, was that it's just not a diet, that it is certainly a transformational system, to keep going back to these tools to implement so that there is the lifelong change. There are a lot of times that you'll get your clients on the phone and you're like, okay, so how long do you want to keep that weight off? And that's when you say, this is the key, and you keep pointing back to that transformational system. I will say that I think it's very important that we as coaches stay in our life book. There is just something about that. And Larry, you were kind of talking about it from a faith perspective, but there's just something about that big book. At first it was kind of intimidating, but if you're just reading a page or two a day, which honestly, that's what I do. I get up and do my devotion, I do my reading and journaling, and then I have my Habits of Health book there in my life book. And it's just a couple pages a day. It just keeps drawing you back. So, I mean, if you have this mentality of ever learning, then it's going to be the answer to your questions. And one of the things that I've just started implementing with my clients, well, let me back up. I talk about the transformational system in my share call. I talk about it in my journey kickoff call. I also talk about it in days 1 through 4, just kind of dripping along the way. Primary focus in week 1 really is about their nutrition program and then becoming familiar with it and comfortable with managing it. But then I also tell them, okay, week 2 is really when we're going to focus on not just the physical aspect of what's changing with you, but the psychological aspect of it as well. And so we talk about things like willpower. If you haven't gotten to that element yet, that was an eye-opening thing for me. How to recreate your structure and your surroundings so that you don't rely on a depleted willpower. But the new thing that I have started talking to my clients about is, hey, you've been on program X number of weeks, and I promise you there's going to be somebody who's doing day one tomorrow, and they would really like to hear what is inspiring you from your life book. So I just tried that this week, and I got my first taker. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that continues. But I really love the fact that we have this effective tool that we can rely on, and we don't have to have all the answers. We can let our clients find their own solutions.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect, Cassie. Thank you for that. And I think that that was such a good statement that you said, that, about us being involved in it too, and the importance of that, and what that ripple effect is. And it's been cool to see. I can see even when you share about your clients now, because of the posturing and the mindset you have in it and your own involvement, that's what you're recognizing and pointing out in your clients as well when you're celebrating them. So that was really, really good. Awesome. It's a perfect segue.
Yep. Perfect segue. Take it
All
away.
right. We are just going to give you a teaser, but I guess one of my questions, and you can put a 1 in the comment, is that would you say you have another level to go to in your health? Just put a 1. Do you need to, clean up the nutrition, maybe exercise, work on your body fat percent, sleep, lower your cholesterol, something like that? All right.
Better date nights.
Put a 2 in the comments if you think that you could do a little bit better job in being more regularly involved in the life book itself, personally, picking that up on a regular basis and doing that yourself. Awesome. I see those 2s coming in. How about a 3 in the comments if it would maybe help you if you had a weekly call with your own coach about your personal health, and not just a business call, but to talk about your own health. All right. So look at that. So here we go. You know how we're going to create great clients? Great clients that do the things that we know that would help them so much is we're going to team rally to become great clients ourselves. So we're going to launch something super fun starting March 1st. It's a rally to become a great client yourself. And we're going to become great clients to create new clients. So we'll share the details, but what that's going to involve is setting a new goal, a new health goal with your coach, and doing a weekly check-in, health check-in with your coach. We're going to have a little reading list for you of life book. And when I tell you little, it's going to be like a checklist that you do like 3 minutes a day in your life book, and we'll give you the assignment and a couple of other fun things. So we're going to gamify it. We're going to make it fun for the team that you can earn points. So we're going to start out with 30 days. And we're going to gamify it and also do some prizes at the end for it. So who thinks that sounds good? Give us like a yay or hands in the air, whatever. Do you see the correlation, right? Like the energy that you'll have when you're feeling fantastic and you're 100% integrated is going to have a ripple effect.
Yeah, I'm excited because, again, it's taking it to the next level. Wherever you are in your health journey, we're going to bring it one step better, and we're going to do that as a team, and we're going to work together to do that over especially the month of March. But again, hopefully it becomes a habit and we continue that on from there. So yeah, I'm excited to move forward, looking at my health for next month, working on that. Sleep, I think I want more sleep.
Yeah, and I definitely know I need help with the life book. So thank you guys for stepping up for the challenge. We're going to release the details. We'll send an email with it all to you, as well as how you will check in and report in each week and all of that. So yeah, I love your excitement about it.
And because next week is a new month, we had great participation tonight. We had almost 50 people on the call tonight. So great stuff. What I'd love you to do is make sure you can bring another one to the party next week. And again, that's also part of our challenge for next week. Bring another one to the party.
Yeah, bring a coach on your team.
Bring it to the meeting. So again, so thankful for all of you guys. Love everything you're doing. Finish up your month strong. And again, if we can help you, by all means, reach out and go off to our next meeting.
All right, yes, Dr. A. Yes, we will send it to all coaches in the organization, Betsy. Thanks for that question. The email with the details.
All right.
All right, guys.
Love you guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.